everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have some Happy Mail that I'm going to unbox and then swatch with you. So a wonderful subscriber by the name of Christine sent me I'm gonna butcher this brand, Mungyo, I think is how you say it, oil pastels, but they're water soluble pastels, and she sent me the 24 regular colors and the 24 pearl colors as a get well gift. So that was really sweet of her, and so I definitely wanted to unbox these with you guys and swatch them because I'm very excited to use these. So if you haven't seen these before, I had actually seen them first on Lindsay the Frugal Crafter's channel. She was doing like a huge comparison of water soluble crayons. I'll open this one while I chat. So she had like these Mungyo, Prima, Gelatos, Neo colors. Basically, she was just comparing all the ones she's ever purchased and talking about them. And she had really good things to say about these. And in fact, I think she was saying these ones, don't quote me on this, I may have to go back and watch, but this brand is the same as Prima Marketing's. It was this or another brand that is basically the same thing as Prima Marketing's one. So, and these are way cheaper than the Prima Marketing ones. I definitely plan to buy the Primas and compare them, but Lindsay knows her stuff. So if she says they're made by the same manufacturer, that woman knows what she's saying. So, but yeah, she had demoed them and I was really excited to check them out. So let's see. Oh, so they got the color names in here. Okay, so this is the pearl colors, and they did have this little foam thing here. They definitely got all over the box though, but pastels are messy, and these are oil water soluble pastels. So I'm really excited to try these out just for the fact that one, they're oil. Like Neo colors are a crayon, like, but a wax crayon, water soluble wax crayon. Wow, that's a lot to say. Whereas these are oil, so you can use these dry as well. You don't have to activate them. So when I swatch, I'm going to have a swatch dry and then a swatch wet. So these are the pearl colors. They are very soft. They're so soft that like during shipping they just smush against, but look at that pretty little rainbow it made. Just checking to see. You can see the like the pearlescent color in the crayon itself too. Okay, so that one broke off in shipping, but that's okay. Amazon is not delicate, let's just face it. All right, and then this is the regular colors. So it has the name and numbers right here. Oh, and these are gold wrapped. So yeah, okay. Do they come in order too? Looks like they do. Oh, and they got the numbers and names on them as well. These ones fared better in shipping. But so it has like the number here and then the name here. Extra soft, water soluble. They are very creamy. Very creamy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out my swatch chart because that way you guys will know what color is what. I just printed out my usual Mystic Sparkle Wings 24 count. I can't decide what I want to swatch on anymore, guys. I have the sketchbook. I have these. I'm like all over the place. But I didn't feel like drawing boxes in the sketchbook, so I printed these. But I did print them on a mixed media paper, one that my printer could handle. That would be similar in thickness to a paper in a coloring book. And the reason for that is, you know, predominantly I use my products in adult coloring books. So I like to swatch on a similar media so that I can see how it behaves. You know, like, does it just bleed into it? Does it dissolve well, etc.? So that's why I swatch on that paper. I've had a lot of people comment, well, why don't you just swatch on watercolor paper? I do go back later and make little watercolor cards, but I always swatch, and you should always swatch on the paper closest to what you color on. If you tend to scan and print or only use like tan tone, then you should be swatching all your colors on a tan toned paper. If you, you know, print out on marker paper, swatch on a marker paper. If you use mixed media paper more often, print out on a mixed media. You know, if you color in your actual coloring books, try to find a paper that's as close to your coloring book as possible. This is the Bristol vellum paper, and I'm using this instead of my Nina 110 pound just because it has a little bit more tooth to it, and I want to see how they perform. Otherwise, I would usually use my Nina 110, but always remember to print on a paper that's closest to what you actually use them on. That's going to give you the best effect, and that way you actually know how these things are supposed to look, because how these will show up on a watercolor paper and how they'll act on watercolor paper is not the same as how they're going to act in a coloring book. Not even close. So always keep that in mind. And I like to throw that disclaimer out there because I do tend to get comments, why aren't you just using watercolor paper? And that's why. So yeah, I'm going to fill out my swatch charts, and then we will be back to swatch 24 regular colors and 24 pearl colors. I want to see what these are like. I'm wondering if they'll be closer to like the gelatos where it just has that light shimmer, or if we're talking like way more glitter, or if they'll be similar to the Paul Rubens. But the Paul Rubens aren't water soluble. These are. So these already have a leg up. So I will be back. Okay, so I have filled out my swatch charts here, and let's get swatching. So let's do the regular colors first. Now, when I was doing the names, I noticed they have the same name. So white, salmon pink, yellow, even the numbering is the same. So it's like you'll have the pearlescent version and then the regular version. Okay. So I've got them over here. But what I'm going to do is I will do a swatch dry and then a swatch I plan to activate. I am today trying my Caran d'Ache water brush. I have never used it. So I'm trying to, I have quite a few water brushes, and I want to play around with them a little bit, and then I'll do kind of a comparison of the best brushes out there. So let's start with the nice boring one of white, although you might see it on the paper. Yeah, maybe not. It's kind of got an off-white tinge to it. So they are very soft. So let's swatch like a row and then we'll activate. This is salmon pink. Kind of have a, they remind me of distress crayons in the softness, I would say. Okay, yellow. That one's really soft and creamy. We've got yellow orange. That one's even softer and creamier. Guess I can move these off to the side. All right, now we've got orange. Just want to keep double checking and making sure they're in the right order. Nothing worse than when you go to swatch and you're like, oh no. Then vermilion. Now, I assume these are kind of like Neo Colors and Distress crayons where I could totally put them on a palette too if I wanted to play around with them that way. All right, let's get my brush wet. I just want to see how these dissolve. Of course, this Caran d'Ache brush, I don't know how wet it gets, but they do dissolve very well. And they stay thick. You can't tell right now with the white, so it's like the worst color. Just get this. Okay, salmon pink you'll be able to see. But yeah, it looks like they dissolve up really nice. This time I might have a little too much water on my brush. Let's just wipe that off. We'll try the yellow. Yeah, even though they like have little chunks, those dissolve really well, because look at that, it's perfect. So it needs about a medium amount of water, not a lot. I mean, obviously you can add more water if you want to water them down, but these smooth out really nice too. All right, let's get this orange. This one I had laid down a little thicker. But it's dissolving just fine, and that color is really rich even when it's dissolved. All right, vermilion. This one definitely looks more like a red. Vermilion can sometimes be an orangey red. That one looks like a real deep red. Of course, we have a red color, so let's see what that one is. Okay, so we got our dry swatch. I'm going to test and see how the dry swatches, if they air dry or not, because I'm kind of curious on that. Like my Paul Rubin pastels, the only way to really get them down without having to use a fixative is to use like a stencil or a makeup brush and really rub them into the tooth of the paper. Otherwise, they can just sit there and stay sticky and move around. But I mean, I'm curious how these act. Are they going to act like Neocolors, King Arts, which are gel crayons, not oil pastels? But I'm just curious, you know, or are these going to act like a traditional oil pastel? Okay. And when they water down, they don't lose too much of that pigment either, except the salmon pink, but I had a lot of water on my water brush. It's a new water brush, probably not the best thing to try a new product with, but thought I'd kill two birds, one stone. Let's see how this red dissolves. Oh yeah, as that vermilion dries and compared to this red, you can see it's a lot more orangey red than this one. So that's definitely our true red. Gotta clean off the brush. It's magenta. My brush might be too dry. I'm not used to this water brush. There we go. Little push button ones I gotta get used to, because you can technically release water while you're using it, but I always get a little nervous. And this reservoir on this brush does not hold a ton of water, I've noticed as well. Lavender. They drag really nice. Ooh, this violet. Let's see how this one looks. Ooh, that's nice. Very rich. I like that color. Okay, dark ochre. That's a really pretty one too. It's like a nice rusty color. Okay, let's see how the dark brown looks. Nice rich chocolatey color. Okay, excuse me. Got the cough that won't go away. So let's test out these ochres. Raw sienna. Light blue and sky blue. Ooh, that one's very soft. I always picture sky blue as a much lighter color, but I guess it just depends on the brand. Some brands have it a little darker. That's a pretty one. Might just swatch the rest of these and then we can activate them all at once. Prussian blue. very interested to see the differences between the pearlescent and these regular colors, especially because they are the same color. So I'm kind of expecting that you would see some sort of noticeable difference, right? If they look exactly the same, then it's kind of like, well, yeah, I do like how these are dissolving. And of course, you can always layer on top when they dry. You can use a little Ranger heat tool. I like to use mine. Dries things faster, so one, you don't have as much buckling, but two, you don't have to sit there and wait. Because who wants to sit there and wait for something to dry? Literally watching paint dry, you know? I sure don't. All right, let's do ochre. Lovely color. Raw sienna. Yep, even with like a nice damp brush, they dissolve really well. All right, light blue. Okay, very nice. Sky blue. That one's pretty too. Might have to actually fill my water brush. Cobalt blue. Good selection of blues. And I do like they included some purples. Okay. Prussian blue. That's not bad. Let's see what this cobalt green looks like. It's got a nice tealish tint to it. That's very pretty. Almost out of water. All right, cadmium green. Yeah, I really like that one. Okay. Yellow green. I notice there's some brown mixed in there a little bit, but when I dissolve it, you don't see the brown. Olive. It's like a nice green gold color. Or it reminds me of the green gold from like polychromos. Okay, let's try the dark gray. Yeah, they all dissolve really well. Oops, I've been smearing the black with my hand. Ooh, wow, look at that one when it dissolves. That is dark. Okay, so that is the regular colors. So we're gonna set those off to the side, let it air dry. Let's grab our pearlescent or pearl colors. These ones got a little more beaten up in shipping, but let's swatch them out. I just want to see like what kind of pearlescent glow they have to them. Oh, these ones almost feel softer than the regular colors. That's interesting. Trying not to get it on my hand, but yeah, these are way softer than the regular ones. Like buttery smooth. It's kind of interesting. I'm just gonna swatch them all. This is red. Yeah, it is red. The red for the pearlescent looks kind of pinkish. So I had to double check. I'm like, did I just swatch the wrong color? Yeah, these are way softer than the regular colors. Very impressive. Look at that one. Those ones just like they melt right onto the paper. Interesting. I think the pearlescent ones in my Paul Rubens were rougher than the pastel ones. I kind of expected these to be rougher, but these are actually softer. These do get all over your hands because they are so buttery. They just kind of melt into your hand. But that's good because that's why they're just melting when the water hits them, you know? Now I'm not seeing a ton of like pearlescent colors. Like I'm not seeing a lot of shine. I see a little bit, but not a ton coming off of them as I swatch. So I'm kind of curious. So the colors definitely look different though than their regular counterparts. Like that Prussian blue has a little bit more of a grayish tinge than the regular Prussian blue. Yep, yellow green seems about the same. Oh, here's my olive that broke in transit, but no biggie. And the dark gray. I don't know if I'd really call this dark gray. Both of them call it dark gray, but in the black, you can see some sort of shimmer in that one. Let me wipe off my fingers. Okay. So we'll activate the white. Now that probably won't be as exciting. Gotta keep my hand out of the way though, so I don't accidentally smudge. All right, let's try this salmon pink. I just want to see if like the pearlescent, oh yeah, when you activate them, that's where you really see the pearlescent glow. All right, let's try the yellow. So it's kind of like with the gelatos, I see more of the pearlescent when it's activated than dry. So I'm thinking these would work better as a wet application. Because you know, like with gel crayons, you can wet them, or you can put them on with a stencil brush or makeup brush. Let's get some water on that. And go from there. But like I'm seeing instantly as I hit these with water, I am seeing the pearlescent just show through. Oh, right there on that one, the light hits it perfect and I can see that pearlescent finish, whereas when it's in its dry form, I don't see it. Let's get the red one here. But yeah, see, I see the shimmer perfectly after I activate these. Oh yeah. Yep, so these are definitely meant, even when I drag it, definitely meant to be activated. Now, if I smush it around like with a makeup brush, maybe that pearlescent will come through while it's dry. But I'm seeing a significant difference when it's wet. I mean, right down to this violet here. The brown isn't as shimmery. That one is though. Okay. Let's see how this ochre turns out. That one's pretty too. It almost has like a coppery, not copper, more like a muted gold. This one almost looks more copper, especially with all the sparkle. Let's see how these blues. I'm very curious for the blues. Oh yeah, that's like beautiful mermaid blue. That sparkle effect. Oh, these are gonna be so fun in backgrounds. Working on a page right now that I'm struggling with the background. This would be gorgeous. I mean, these colors. These are thicker when they activate than the others, but you could always just add more water. Oh, that one's beautiful. Okay, let's see how these ones turn out. And I don't know with the lighting in here if the shine is going to show through. I hope it does though, because they're very pretty. Like from my angle, it's catching the natural light from my windows, and that shimmer is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh yeah, beautiful. Let's see how the olive one turns out. Yeah, it's like a nice gold now. Even my little rag that I'm wiping it off on is all covered in like shimmer metallics. So yeah, dark gray is now like a silver. All right, let's see what this black is gonna look like. Ooh, with the pearlescent. Oh, that is awesome. I like the pearlescent ones. I mean, but I love glitter, so not biased at all. I'm wondering if I can get the shimmer to show for you guys, because it is, yeah, see that shimmer there? Oh yeah, these are beautiful. So yeah, it's interesting when they're dry, you just don't catch the shimmer, but the second you activate them, that shimmer is there. I wonder if I just dry rub it around. Can you see the shimmer? Okay, yeah. So if you dry rub this, then you can see the shimmer come through. Probably not on my camera, unless I catch that natural light. But yeah, you can see the shimmer. It's more muted than when it's wet, but you can totally see it. So you would just want to like use a makeup brush or a stencil brush, or the best tool you have available to you, aka your finger, because I mean, art is messy, come on guys. But the heat from your hand would actually help distribute these easier on paper. Just fun fact. I know it's fun to break out the brushes, but if you want to get the job done quick, just use your finger. But yeah, I like these. Okay, so those are the pearl colors. I know it sucks because you guys aren't going to see the full pearl effect as well as I am, but these are definitely shimmery. More shimmery than my gelatos. Now gelatos are gel crayons, not oil pastels, but all right, so check out the differences. So like this is red, regular, red pearlescent. The pearlescent is definitely pinker. Magenta is bolder here, where it's more of a light pink here. Violet is just a little lighter here. Lavender's about the same. Vermilion's just a little bolder. But like, look at the difference between the Prussian blues. So the pearlescent one is more of like a gray now, has a gray effect. But yeah, I mean, so you do get a little bit of a color change. But I really love how these pearlescent ones look. They are gorgeous. So most of these are pretty close. Not too much of a difference. But yeah, those are so pretty. Oh, wow. So these are definitely going to have to sit and air dry. This Crayon Dash brush actually did really well. I've never used it before, so it was a fun little testaroo. Testaroo is a word in my world. So I want to say a special thank you again to Christine for sending me these 2 sets of oil pastels that are water soluble. Like I had said, I'd seen them on another channel and was dying to use them. So I'm very excited to play around with these, and then I will do a review down the road. As always, anytime you see a first impressions, just know a review is coming down the pipeline at one point. I just don't get my reviews out until I'm confident. I want to use a product as long as it takes until I can say, okay, here's my review. And if that's weeks or months, that's just what it is. but I feel more confident putting those out than just rushing through. But overall, I am very impressed. I mean, these remind me a lot of Neo colors, the way they break down. You know, too much water, you start getting through it. So you'll want a pretty damp brush, but the colors are absolutely beautiful. These pearlescents are gorgeous. And when they get wet, they don't have the tooth coming through. So they're a lot more opaque. But the effects you can create are just going to be amazing. Even if you just did it dry and rubbed it on with your finger or brush. So yeah, I'm really impressed with both of these so far, and I can't wait to just play around with them. And I will try them on backgrounds dry and wet, just to see what I think, but definitely worth the money. These aren't too expensive either. When I had put them on my list, I was like, holy cow, those are pretty cheap compared to most water-soluble products. So I was like, well, yes. So special thank you again to Christine. Thank you so much for sending me this as a get well and gift. It was so incredibly sweet of you, and I will be using these very soon. Let me know if you have these and your thoughts in the in the comments below. And until next time, guys, take care.